Hi again, Leo. So I figured since I had the chair upside down and it would be a little bit easier, I could sit on a stool to do this front piece engraving that's on the bottom of the seat. This is the seat. But so to do that, I changed out the bit to this bit. This is the one I was using before. I want to try this one out to see if it doesn't do a better job right in there, and like with that and some of this stuff here. I also wanted to tell you that you did something after the family reunion that really surprised me. It was just, to me, it was amazing. I mean, it was unexpected, and just very, very surprising. So, remember, there was that little incident that we talked about at the reunion with your cousin, and then, you know, her husband volunteered to let you charge your phone in his car, and then we forgot it, and then the next town over, your cousin loaded up the kids and her kid and her husband and brought it to you. When she handed you the phone, you took the phone and her hand in both of your hands, and you told her thank you, and I really, really appreciate it. And you held her hand for just a moment. I'm not going to say too long, but a moment long. And that, Leo, that was respect in motion. Remember, we talked about the 6 ingredients for love: respect, dignity, care, compassion, trust, and connection. You gave her love. And it kind of made up for the difficulties you had with her at the reunion. And you did it amazingly. It was better than just words. Because those 6 ingredients, respect is a word that describes an action and a feeling. And so you can tell someone, I respect you, until you're blue in the face. But if your actions do not speak that word to them, your words mean nothing. Actions mean more than words. So, your parents are doing a really good job with you. I think you did a wonderful, wonderful job with that. And that's why when we took that trip to Billing, into Shields, that's why I did what I did on the way home and gave you that little lesson. So that was cool. And I needed to tell you that, because if somebody doesn't tell us that what we did was nice or good or cool, we think, well, all I do is things wrong. And you don't. You don't. You can fix things too, which is really cool. So I'm gonna work just a little bit right in here, and I'm gonna be quiet, and we're gonna see how this little bit works out. And this is the Fordham, the handheld, the Fordham. See, it says right there, Fordham. I got the bit on here that I was using to correct stippling, but there isn't any stippling in this, so I might not need to use that at all. But we're just going to do about 5 minutes worth. I'll probably, boy, this video editing is such hard work. I'm going to try to learn how to fast forward it and combine videos, but I've got a lot of things on my plate sometimes, and can only do what we can do, right? Oh. Yeah, I'm, and it might not matter to you that I say that was impressive, and you're wondering, well, why am I telling you that? It's because I am not fond of conflict. I'm really not a fan of it. I've had to stand my ground as a little tiny person, and sometimes that's tough. So part of me avoiding conflict means I don't get to hear people say nasty things about other people, because I don't want to hear it unless it directly pertains to my job, my work, we're selfish creatures, my family, my possessions, all of that. I don't care. So it took me a long time to learn this trick, but I'm going to tell you while I'm doing this. So when somebody comes up to you to gossip, let's just pretend it's, well, that girl likes to have sex. And that's the polite way of saying she's an S or whatever. And the best way to knock that out is to say, what is your purpose in telling me this? And believe me, when you ask somebody, what is the purpose in you telling me this? They will get the funniest look on their face. It'll be like somebody stabbed them. They don't understand. And they might come up with a weird excuse like, well, I'm just telling you because you need to know. Well, why do I need to know that? Well, what if you ask her out? Or what if you want to do that kind of thing with her? And you say, well, that's none of your business. And really, there are two sides to every story. So tell me, where did you hear that she was an S? And they might say, well, her boyfriend told me. Well, boy, that tells me more about her boyfriend than it does her. It tells me that her boyfriend is not trustworthy. It tells me that he's vindictive. It tells me that he would rather tell everybody else what happened and be the big man on campus than guarding something that she gave to him, that she shared with him, that private connection. And really, anybody that wants to be a big man on campus all the time, they usually have issues of their own, self-esteem issues and confidence issues, because really nobody needs to know, and really nobody wants to know. Not really. I mean, some people are addicted to that kind of drama, but it doesn't really mean anything. Except whoever's telling you is showing who they are. They're showing their values, where they heard it from, the person that initially disclosed that information. It shows their values. It doesn't show that girl's values. She may not have done anything like what they're saying, but they're saying it for selfish reasons. Just like we guard our ego, we guard our intelligence, we guard our assets. So That's the best way to knock out a gossip. Why are you telling me this? And you know, there are two sides to every story. If I ask this person what their side is it going to be the same? You don't have to ask them. You just need to stop the gossip, because our brains, we talked about this, are supercomputers. They catch everything on a subconscious level. You want to see everything and evaluate everything. You have to bring it to the forefront. What is your purpose in doing this thing? So, my purpose was because I wanted my sister happy. That's why we had that talk at the reunion. Didn't want her mad. I didn't want her distressed. That was my purpose in that conversation. So, like I said, I was more than willing, if you had told me different, to say, okay, there are two sides to every story. You gave me your side. All right. But you took hold of that and you made it right. So, there's my little bit of advice, that love is an action, not just words, and how to stop gossip, and what is the purpose. And you don't have to know your purpose right now. You don't have to know what you want to be when you're 18. All you have to concentrate on is, what is my purpose in saying this thing or doing this thing at this moment? What am I gaining? And what am I taking away from myself or someone else? Because really, when you take away someone else's respect and dignity for your own gratification, you're losing. You're losing. And respect is not a pie. It's not limited by that dish. It's unlimited. You can give respect even to your enemies. It's unlimited. Hey Leo, have a great day. Bye.